Horizon Forbidden West is one of the biggest games expected to come out this year, what with the successful release of its predecessor. We are constantly jumping at any bit of information for Horizon Forbidden West as the excitement begins to kick in. For a time, fans wondered what kind of advantage the PlayStation 5 version, and whether the game will include a performance mode like other PS5 titles. Well, fans should be happy to hear that the sequel will include a performance mode, which enables the game to run at a smooth 60 frames per second, as confirmed by Guerrilla Games in an interview by French YouTuber Julien Cheese. However, what the performance mode entails exactly isn't fully clear yet, and fans will need to wait about the specificities of what resolution the game will run at with 60 frames per second. But who cares, Returnal looked amazing even if it is upsampled to 4K. The Unreal Engine 5 demo running at 1440p, and God of War looked phenomenal on the base PS4. So, if the graphical fidelity and texture density is there, I will play even if it is an upscaled version, it doesn't matter. A strong possibility is that Horizon Forbidden West will also feature a fidelity mode, which would likely reduce the frame rate to 30 with ray tracing and other bells and whistles. Additionally, it's unclear if the game will feature an option that would prioritize both fidelity and performance together, similarly to Spider-Man Miles Morales. Regardless, it's good to know that fans will be able to enjoy the game at a smoother frame rate. Of course, it's possible that the resolution fans could expect from performance mode would be upscaled 4K running at 60 frames per second, but that's just speculation for now. The news comes a week after Guerrilla had finally unveiled gameplay footage on the PS5. The reveal of the gameplay footage also brought on a 2021 release that has been doubled down on by head of PlayStation Studios, Herman Hulst, after some skepticism from fans that the game could be delayed. Moreover, Hulst has stated that Horizon Forbidden West is on track, and that the team is currently working very hard to meet the holiday release. Obviously, under the circumstances of COVID-19, a delay is plausible as the pandemic has made it difficult to work by having employees working from home. The visuals and scope of Horizon Forbidden West's world are stunning, to say the least, but that's precisely why fans are still worried about the possibility of a delay. That, and the fact that God of War Ragnarok has been delayed to 2022. Narrative-driven games tend to require more time to perfect, as changes could be made at any moment that may require some alteration to the overall narrative. Regardless, the news of a performance mode is great, and if the comments by Hulst are any indication, it's that Horizon Forbidden West can be expected to release this year. While Sony certainly considers Horizon Forbidden West a PS5 headliner, the game will also appear on PS4. The reveal came during the September 2020 PlayStation 5 showcase, 3 months after the Forbidden West's initial announcement. The cross-gen decision stems from Sony's understanding that everyone will transition from the PS4 to the PS5 at different times, and it doesn't want players missing out on fan-favorite franchises. Considering the PS5 shortages, this was likely a good decision. Now, following the first Horizon Forbidden West gameplay showcase, Game Informer has sat down with Forbidden West game director Matthijs de Jonge and narrative director Benjamin McCaw to discuss the title at length. How Guerrilla Games plan to take advantage of the PS5's technology sat among the many questions that the two received, and de Jonge decided to answer it by spelling out the differences between the game's PS4 and PS5 versions, giving fans an idea of what to expect from each. De Jonge states that much of Horizon Forbidden West's development and playtesting took place on the PS4, so it's designed with that hardware in mind. By doing this, Guerrilla ensured that PS4 players would have a great experience with the title, even though they're not playing on the PS5. That said, while the game will play and look good on the PS4, Guerrilla can do a lot more with it on the PS5. Specifically, it can enhance its visuals with much more detail. For example, de Jonge says that the PS5 version has its own rendering technique for underwater scenes, one that adds extra detail to things like waves. Also, the lighting on Aloy has much more definition. Guerrilla uses a special, cinematic lighting rig in Forbidden West that follows Aloy around. The PS4 only has enough processing power to activate the rig during cutscenes, but the PS5 can do it throughout the entire game. Conceivably, the PS5 version should still provide a unique experience too. Now let's take an in-depth analysis of some of the new features in the game. Climbing was one of the main criticisms of Horizon Zero Dawn, because it seemed to lack innovation, and didn't allow for a lot of creativity on the player's part. Basically, Aloy needed to find the yellow handholds and grab on. In Forbidden West, Guerrilla Games has obviously taken note of those criticisms and improved upon the original climbing mechanics in a huge way. Aloy's focus now has a new feature that allows her to scan the environment to pick out areas ideal for climbing. This is a great way to keep those yellow handholds from fighting against the beautiful natural environment. In addition to traditional climbing, Aloy now has a tool called the Poolcaster, which looks and functions similarly to the grappling hook in Sekiro. It allows her to get to difficult-to-reach spots as well as helps her escape dangerous situations quickly. It looks very fluid, fast, fun to use, and should allow for players to creatively deal with enemy encounters. The second major traversal tool Aloy has been given in Forbidden West is the Shield Wing, a high-tech glider that allows her to descend from high places without having to rappel down in a cutscene like she did in the previous game. It opens up a lot of opportunities for traversing the game world and can also be used for combat. While floating down, Aloy can use the Shield Wing to attack enemies from above. Gliders are not uncommon in video games, with Shadow of the Colossus being one of the primary examples. With an open world as beautiful as Forbidden West's, the glider is a natural addition. Many Horizon fans really wanted to see Aloy mount flying machines in Forbidden West, and while that hasn't been confirmed to be true, the Shield Wing is the next best thing. Underwater exploration was teased during the reveal trailer, where Aloy was shown briefly avoiding snapmaws in a sunken city, but the Forbidden West gameplay showcase highlighted this element even more. It's clear that underwater exploration could be a big part of Forbidden West. Aloy dives into the water to avoid an angry herd of machines, and as soon as she does, the ocean comes to life in a way no one expected. The Forbidden West environment is absolutely stunning, and the showcase demonstrated how Aloy must carefully avoid machines in water. It's unclear right now if she's able to fight while submerged. But thanks to her diving mask, the developer confirmed that Aloy can stay underwater as long as she wants without having to worry about coming up for air. She can even talk to herself underwater. This would seem to confirm that underwater exploration will have a major role in Forbidden West rather than just be a passing attraction, and just looking at the stunning visuals, it's hard to imagine why anyone wouldn't take Guerrilla up on that opportunity. Sunken cities are something Aloy could never have explored in the landlocked Horizon Zero Dawn map, but the Pacific Coast location opens up a ton of new possibilities. The lack of melee combat options was also a major criticism for Horizon Zero Dawn, and once again Guerrilla seems to have paid attention to fan feedback. In Zero Dawn, Aloy only had two spear attack options, light and heavy, meaning that the primary focus was ranged combat. Aloy is a hunter and ranged combat is more or less the point of game, so that's not necessarily bad, but especially with faster machines it would have been great to have more options. It would also have been helpful in human combat. It's not entirely clear yet how Aloy's spear works in Forbidden West, but combat sections in the gameplay reveal showcased what has to be a deeper melee combat system. The developers mentioned that Aloy's spear can now build combos, which is entirely new. Aloy's spear can also be outfitted with abilities like the Valor Surge, a charged attack that does a lot of damage to surrounding enemies. While players won't really know how the melee combat feels until they get their hands on the game, it looks like there are a ton of options that will make for a fast-paced and satisfying combat experience. Of course, Aloy can't go to the Forbidden West without picking up some brand new weapons, specifically for ranged combat. Even though there are more melee options this time, ranged attacks are still Aloy's specialty. When it comes to massive machines like the Tremor Tusk, it's best to fight from a distance. One of the ways Aloy can do this is with the Spike Thrower, a new weapon that, true to its name, throws spikes at enemies to deal damage. While they don't seem to deal damage, there are also a few more strategic tools at Aloy's disposal. Likely inspired by the sticky bombs from Zero Dawn, Aloy now has the Adhesive Bomb. Despite having similar names, they have different purposes. The sticky bomb would explode after being stuck to the enemy's surface for a couple of seconds, while the adhesive bomb explodes in a way that creates a glue-like substance, reducing the target's mobility. If Aloy needs a few extra seconds to get away or distract an enemy, this should come in handy. Aloy will also have a smoke bomb, which many gamers are likely familiar with from other titles. True to tradition, smoke bombs act as a getaway device that blinds enemies momentarily. Horizon Zero Dawn used some stealth mechanics, but the smoke bomb will incorporate stealth with combat. All of these new additions are only a sneak peek of what's to come, and added that Aloy will be able to upgrade her gear at workbenches scattered throughout the world. Both the combat and traversal systems have been improved for Forbidden West, making it seem like a true next-gen game. Horizon Forbidden West is one of my most anticipated games this generation, and both Ratchet and Clank and Horizon 2 looks phenomenal and benchmarks for gaming. I can't really wait to play those, and Ratchet and Clank preload is happening now, and it is 33 gigabytes, which is very amazing for a dense game with all of the next-gen features. The survival game Subnautica has just a 5 gigabytes file size on the PS5. Compare this to 14 gigabytes on the PlayStation 4, and you're saving more than 60% of storage space. Control Ultimate Edition also benefits significantly from Sony's compression tech, coming in at just 25.79 gigabytes on the PS5 compared to 42.5 gigabytes on the Xbox Series X. That's a 39% reduction in file size. And also other games such as Necromunda, Borderlands 3, etc., has half as space as the other versions. The smaller file size does not mean that it degrades the quality of the game, as most of the multiplats and cross-gen games have better resolution, performance and texture quality on the PlayStation 5. This compression technique is called as Kraken compression technique, and Mark Cerny has given an explanation for that last year at the Road to PS5 presentation. The PlayStation 5 has several next-gen features such as the revolutionary DualSense controller with adaptive triggers and next-gen haptic feedback, the Tempest 3D audio which creates a whole new level of immersion, the new UI, the SSD, the level design and other game designs dynamics and so on. Whereas on the side of Xbox all of them are absent, including the next-gen games. This E3, Xbox must deliver with their games for the fans and do not disrespect the gamers again. Releasing back in 2019, Pixel Opus Concrete Genie was hailed by many as an inventive new exclusive experience for PlayStation 4, allowing players to use a magical paintbrush to solve puzzles and decorate a lifeless town. Now, it seems the studio behind the game is hard at work on something entirely new, taking to Twitter to share 2 job postings for a mysterious upcoming project. The listings themselves are for a principal graphics programmer and a senior engine programmer, with both positions referencing an exciting new PlayStation 5 title. Interestingly, the game will be made in collaboration with Sony Pictures Animation, and will allegedly tackle exciting innovation and rendering opportunities. Not much else is mentioned about the game other than the fact it will be made using Unreal Engine 5, joining countless other upcoming PlayStation 5 releases using the innovative game engine. Regardless, it's intriguing to hear the team is moving on to something new, especially considering it'll be in collaboration with Sony Pictures Animation. The studio has released several successful animated movies over the years, including the Academy Award-winning Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, and the Hotel Transylvania series. It'll be interesting to see exactly how the partnership works out when Pixel Opus reveals what it's been working on. As for Concrete Genie, the game did fairly well back in 2019, amassing generally favorable reviews from critics. The story followed a young boy named Ashu, upon discovering a magical paintbrush with the ability to bring his illustrations to life, embarks on a journey to cleanse the small, polluted town of Denska. Along the way, players were encouraged to create colorful murals and bring light to the game's dingy environments, slowly but surely illuminating the town with personalized drawings. It even recently got an influx of new players following its appearance in Sony's February PlayStation Plus offerings, where it joined Control, Ultimate Edition, and Destruction All-Stars. Pixel Opus' new title will join a lineup of experiences slated to hit PS5 in the coming years, with head of PlayStation Studios Herman Hulst confirming yesterday that the company has 25 new exclusives in production. According to Hulst, Almost half of these are new IPs, with the company wanting to continue creating compelling franchises. The interview also revealed some other notable announcements, including the confirmation that the new God of War has been delayed into 2022 and will come to PS4. According to Hulst, the company wants to continue supporting the PlayStation 4, noting that the console has a large community that it can't just walk away from. Moving forward, we have an update from Bend Studio, as Days Gone may not be getting a sequel, but several key people who worked on the project are teasing a live-action short for the future. Days Gone recently made waves when it released on PC, but fans of the survival horror action game may be delighted to know that another project centered on the IP is being teased. Bend Studio recently shared a Twitter post in which it thanked the Days Gone community for its enthusiasm and passion that fans have for the world of the game and the characters that inhabit it. Alongside tons of fans reacting to the post, several notable names joined the replies to discuss the potential future of Days Gone. And hopefully this post will bring even more attention to the potential Days Gone live-action short and help make it a reality. This all started when a fan of Bend Studio joined the conversation to tweet director Stephen Ford in the replies asking how fans can help him and Ascender make a live-action Days Gone short with Sam Witwer. Ford responded to this fan with great interest, while Witwer announced that he's willing to grow his beard out for the project. Witwer was quick to point out that the Days Gone leads all look like their characters, and that cutscenes of them in character have already been shot for the game, so a live-action short would apparently be pretty one-to-one. Lead designer at Bend Studio Eric Jensen joined the Days Gone live-action movie talk when he said he may not legally be able to join the project, but he wants to work on the project in some way. Jensen also offered to co-direct despite the potential legal conflict, with Ford expected to be the main director of the project. Sam Witwer is working on a new video game project, but he expressed enthusiasm with the prospect of having Jensen on as co-director. Stephen Ford stated bluntly that he would literally drop everything that he's working on right now in order to work with Eric Jensen and Sam Witwer on the currently hypothetical totally not real, but would be insanely awesome live-action Days Gone short. Ford has expressed interest in video game adaptations in the past, and in the same Twitter thread, shared enthusiasm for working with the duo on any project. With each of these Days Gone originals being so enthusiastic about this live-action short, it may be a project that sees the light of day in the future. With Days Gone available on PlayStation and PC now, a live-action short would be a great way to show other gamers what they're missing. Whether a Days Gone sequel is in the works or not, this Days Gone short could help breathe more life into the franchise. These are currently just rumblings on Twitter as of now, but this Days Gone project may see the light of day. Between the likes of Santa Monica Studio, Naughty Dog, Guerrilla Games, Sucker Punch, Media Molecule and Insomniac, Sony already possesses quite the pedigree of PlayStation studios to churn out major new releases for the PlayStation 5. Only recently, PlayStation Studios head Herman Hulst confirmed that over 25 games are currently in development at Sony's first-party studios. And some suspect that Sony is looking to add even more studios to the list, if a recently discovered job listing is anything to go by. First spotted by DualShockers, a job listing on LinkedIn is looking for an HR mergers and acquisitions director to work for the PlayStation brand. Although the advertisement doesn't necessarily mention or confirm anything concrete, the job title seems to indicate that Sony is considering further acquisitions. If it is, it's most likely in response to Microsoft. Aside from the Xbox company acquiring ZeniMax, and thus Bethesda, and its library of IPs, Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Wolfenstein etc., Microsoft has made it abundantly clear that it is always on the hunt for even more studios to buy out and contribute to Microsoft's first-party offerings. Even before Bethesda, it had snapped up Obsidian Entertainment, The Outer Worlds, Grounded, and Playground Games, which is developing the new Fable. But about a month after the Microsoft/Bethesda news broke, PlayStation CEO Jim Ryan appeared to criticize Microsoft's strategy of spending large amounts of money to obtain studios. In an interview with GamesIndustry.biz, Ryan had this to say about how PlayStation studios have grown. "I would just invite anybody to look at the launch window lineup of the PS4 generation, or PS3 generation, and compare it to what we are going to bring in the equivalent phase of PS5. There's just no comparison. That is the fruit of not massive spending sprees, but of very, very steadily, carefully planned organic growth. As for which studios Sony could potentially buy, that's anyone's guess. Shortly after the Microsoft/Bethesda announcement, I suggested that Sony buy out Konami or Capcom, specifically for franchises like Metal Gear, Silent Hill, and Castlevania and Resident Evil, Street Fighter and Monster Hunter, since many feel these have been thoroughly neglected by Konami in recent years. Despite the criticisms lobbied against it, it remains a very profitable company thanks to its other businesses. But buying a Japanese company is not that easy as buying a Western company. There is so many culture involved in, and it takes a greater good reason to finish the deal. Sony would most likely focus on acquiring studios it has very close working relationships with. Before it bought Insomniac, the studio had already contributed PlayStation exclusives like the Ratchet and Clank series and the Resistance series. One possible example could be Housemarque, which is not only responsible for the recent PS5 hit Returnal, but already has a history of making PlayStation exclusive games published by Sony, such as 2016's Alienation and 2017's Matterfall, which has been rumored to be already acquired by Sony. Regardless, these kinds of acquisitions don't happen overnight, so don't expect Sony to make any surprise announcements anytime soon. And that's all for the video, guys. Like and share the video for a greater audience. Comment your thoughts on the topics, and if you want to contribute for the growth of the channel, the link to my PayPal in the video's description and in the channel banner. As my resources are very limited, donations are always appreciated, and it can help me to create more contents and share news consistently, and could open doors for live streams, game playthroughs, podcasts, merch, etc. Thanks for watching the video, subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon, and until then, from SMPV it's goodbye.
There's gonna be trouble.